Hey guys, welcome to the third foundation of the mindfulness and meditation chapter of Refuge Recovery, a Buddhist path to recovering from addiction by Levine. So we continue here. The third level of mindfulness brings attention to the process and contents of the mind. Having established present time awareness of the body and feeling tone of the experience, we then turn our mindfulness to the mind itself. This is done through paying close attention to our states of mind as they arise, including all the emotional experiences that are felt both mentally and physically. By paying close attention when the experiences of greed or anger are present, we begin to investigate what that state of mind feels like, where it arises from, where it goes, and how we relate to it. It takes a level of intentional non-reactivity. We receive with awareness the state of mind and know it through direct experience. Yet we allow it to arise and pass without trying to get rid of it or hold on to it. Rather than reacting with our usual attachment or aversion, taking everything personally and feeling the need to do something about it, we relax into the experience, seeing it clearly and simply letting it be just as it is. This is important on two levels. First, we become intimate with our mind states and with how they affect our mood and our actions. Second, we begin to see more and more clearly that states of mind and emotions, like everything else, are impermanent. With mindfulness, we have the choice of responding with compassion to the pain of craving, anger, fear, and confusion. Without mindfulness, we are stuck in the reactive pattern and identification that will inevitably create more suffering and confusion. This is certainly a radical practice, turning the attention towards the mind. It feels like a form of internal dissonance. We are rebelling against our mind's long-held habits. We are practicing internal discernment about what thoughts are wise and worthy of attention, and what thoughts are unwise and deserving of dismissal. This is one of the highest forms of recovery and inner freedom. No longer slaves to the dictates of the addict mind, we gain the ability to choose for ourselves how we respond to thoughts, feelings, and sensations of being alive. When we break free from conditional identification with the mind, we open a door to relating to our mind rather than from them. Then, when your mind encourages you to drink, use, or engage in any of the addictive behaviors, you can simply ignore it or respond directly to it by saying, "Nice try, mind. Thanks for sharing." Now we're being asked to see the mindfulness of the mind instruction on page 201. So skipping to 201. How your guys' day going? Is it groovy? I hope so. Making the best of the quarantine time? I hope so. 201, the mind. Part 1, process. From the foundation of present time investigative awareness that is infused with the intention of kindness and understanding, you can turn your attention on the mind itself. After having established awareness of the breath, body, and the feeling tone of the present moment, expand the attention to the process of the thinking mind. Observe the arising and passing of thoughts. Allow the awareness to be expansive. Try not to get caught in the content of the thoughts. Let go of the need to solve any problems or make any plans. Just relax into the present time awareness of thoughts coming and going, like the ocean tide. Break the addiction to the contents of an identification with your mind. Meditate on the mind as a process. Each thought is like a bubble floating through the spaciousness of awareness. One may contain a plan, another a memory, and yet another a judgment or an emotion. Allow each thought to pass without getting into the bubble or floating off with it. Until the meditation practice has matured, you will get seduced by the thinking mind over and over, floating off into the plan or memory that feels too important to let pass. Or all of a sudden, you will have what seems like the most important revelation or inspiration. This is the natural process of training the mind and transforming your relationship to the content of your mind. As with the breath, simply let go and return to the present over and over, bursting the bubble and redirecting the attention to the process again and again. If there is a foundation of attention that is concentrated and stable, you may be able to experience the completely impersonal phenomenon of proliferation of thoughts. You may see that one thought that arises leads to the next and the next and the next, until suddenly the mind is off in some fantasy, each bubble giving birth to the next. After establishing awareness, this is the content part or step 2 of this meditation. After establishing awareness of the breath/body and feeling tone of the present moment, and after expanding the attention to the process of the thinking mind and observing the arising and passing of thoughts, bring attention to the content of each mind moment. Know directly the truth of each thought. Be aware of each memory as a memory. And when a plan arises in the mind, know it is a plan, perhaps noting past and future. Be aware of the arising of all emotions. Oh, baby girl. Be aware of the arising of all emotions. If fear, anger, sadness, love, caring, envy, empathy, or any other feeling arises, experience it directly. Yeah, Kina, experience it directly. Know what is originated in the mind and has manifested in the body as well. Let me repeat that. Be aware of the arising of all emotion. If fear, anger, sadness, love, caring, envy, empathy, or any other feeling arises, experience it directly. Know that it is originated in the mind and has manifested in the body as well. You may see that fear is an underlying motivation for the much of the contents of your mind. See for yourself what is true about your mind. Know each experience as it is. Observe the tendency to avoid, suppress, ignore, or resist the unpleasant thoughts, and recognize that as an aversion. Observe the tendency to cling, crave, and feed the thoughts that are pleasant or that you feel will lead to more safety or happiness, and know that experience as attachment. And then let go, let go, let go. So I know I'm working on it too. Then we got 4th foundation. The 4th level of mindfulness is paying attention to the truth of the present time experience. That is, paying attention to and knowing when suffering is present, when craving has arisen, and when contentment and peace are being experienced. Who wants to feel contentment and peace above all other things? Raise your hand, Keita, and quit messing with that. Thanks. Okay, this level of mindfulness extends to all the experiences we have, including the awareness of the arising and passing of the 5 hindrances of craving for pleasure, aversion to pain, restlessness, sloth, doubt. The 6 senses of hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, thinking, and feeling. The 4 noble truths of suffering, the cause, its end, and the path. And the 7 factors of enlightenment, which are the experience of mindfulness, investigation, tranquility, equanimity, patience, rapture, and concentration. Through mindfulness, we have insight into the attachments, clingings, and cravings that perpetrate our addiction. See the Mindfulness of Truth instruction on page 203. Here we go. 203, 203, 203, 203. Here we go. The truth. The fourth level of mindfulness meditation is bringing awareness to the truth of the present moment. Through the introspective practice of present time awareness, we can bring attention to the truth of suffering, its causes, and the experience of freedom from suffering and confusion. At this level, we can pay attention to and know when suffering is present, when craving has arisen, and when contentment and peace are being experienced. This level of mindfulness extends to all the experiences we have. Traditionally, this includes the awareness of the arising and passing of the hindrances, the senses, the noble truths, the factors of enlightenment, and the attachments and cravings that keep us ignorant about the truths of existence. While sitting in meditation, expand the attention to the whole mind and body. Know your experience as it is. When you become aware of the hindrances of sleepiness, restlessness, craving, aversion, or doubt, simply pay direct attention to the truth of these experiences. What does it feel like in the body? Where do you physically experience restlessness, sleepiness, aversion, or craving? Is the experience constant or constantly changing? Likewise, with the factors of awakening, when mindfulness, concentration, investigation, energy, joy, equanimity, and relaxation arise, take them as the object of meditation. Investigate and contemplate the truth of each moment as it manifests in the body and the mind. On this level of meditative practice, it is important to keep the intention of objective friendliness. Meet each experience with acceptance and curiosity. So this is suffering. Hello. Attachment. Hello. Craving. You feel like a tightness in my jaw, a hardness in my belly, and an abusive voice in my mind. Part 1. Mindfulness of walking. I think that was for later. So going back to this one, all these, through mindfulness, we have insight into the attachments, clingings, and cravings that perpetrate our addiction. See the Mindfulness of Truth introduction on page 203, which we just read. Continuing on, all these meditation instructions are applicable to any posture or movement of the body, whether done walking, standing, sitting, or lying down. Mindfulness and contemplative inquiry can and should be practiced. See the Mindfulness of Walking instruction in page 204. So back to 204. My spidey senses were correct. We were going to read that next. Mindfulness of walking. Here we are. When walking, know that you are walking. That's the goal of this meditation. Find a place to walk that is 20 or 30 feet long. Standing at the beginning of the path, bring full attention to the body. Feel the feet firmly planted on the ground. Allow the breath to be natural. Bring attention to your feet. As you intentionally begin to walk, bring attention to your feet. Feel the pressure and the movement of each step. Notice the balancing act that the body does as each step shifts the body weight from side to side. Your hands can fall wherever it is easy and natural. Your eyes don't need to be looking at your feet or closed in order to pay attention to the experience of mindfully walking. It's usually best to keep them focused a few feet in front of you on the walking terrain. Safety first, right? When the attention is drawn back into thinking about something else, pause and acknowledge that you have lost mindfulness of walking. Note where the attention has drawn and then continue down the path, placing about 80% of your attention in the body, especially the feet, and 20% of your surroundings, acknowledging, seeing, and note how the mind tends to instantly label all forms: grass, carpet, floor, dirt, and so on. When you reach the end of the path you have chosen, again pause and feel both feet on the ground. Bring full attention to the experience of standing, bringing attention to the balancing act of turning the body and swiveling of the feet, and the redistribution of the weight. Facing the path you just walked down, begin walking towards the other end. Repeat the process of walking back and forth along this path as a meditative training in present time awareness. Find a pace that fits your energy and intention of moment to moment awareness. Walking slowly may facilitate a more precise experience of the constantly changing physical phenomenon of the body. Walking at a normal pace or quickly may be useful for integrating mindfulness into daily life and the fast-paced, busy lives most of us lead. Back to this, ending with, eventually all these meditations become one. The mindfulness of breath and the body leads to the awareness of the feeling tone, then expands to the awareness of the content and process of the mind, and finally expands to include all the phenomena related to the mind-body process. This is the meditative training called the Path of Insight. And that's where we'll end it today. Until the next video, which we will be continuing to Chapter 12, entitled Concentration/Meditation. And I'll give you a little preview of it so you can have something to think about. We develop the capacity to focus the mind on a single object, such as the breath or a phase, training the mind through the practice of loving kindness, compassion, and forgiveness to focus on the positive qualities we seek to uncover. As we utilize concentration at times of temptation or craving in order to abstain from acting unwisely. And that's where we'll start off the next video. Love you guys. Namaste. And I'll leave you off with this. I hope you felt that in your spine. All right, I love you guys. Talk to you next time.